Big screen TVs continue to ramp up in size and offer home cinema fans brighter and bolder experiences, but real home cinema enthusiasts are still going to choose a quality projector for their dedicated cinema room, and this new JVC will be top of most shopping lists under £7,000. So let's find out why. What's up, cinema fans? I'm Phil Hinton, the editor of AVForums, and if you thought the world of home cinema projectors was getting stale, then think again. JVC has recently dropped the DLA-NZ500, or the RS1200 if you're on the pro side, and it's a new reference point. This smaller, laser-powered unit delivers where it counts when it comes to cinematic picture quality and superb deep black levels. But before we get into the review, thanks to everyone who has subscribed to the channel, old and new, and welcome along. If you haven't hit the subscribe button but you do watch lots of our content, then please do us a favour and hit the subscribe button, as you really don't want to miss our in-depth reviews, and of course it helps us build the channel. You can also read the full in-depth review of the JVC NZ500 on AVForums, where we go into a lot more detail than we can cover in this video. And we also publish our reviews first on the website, with our videos appearing on YouTube a short time after that. Also remember that our reviews are never sponsored. We bring you honest and biased reviews that help you make the right buying decision, and we will never take sponsorship for a review. AVForums is one of the largest AV and hi-fi communities on the web, so why not head over and check out what like-minded tech enthusiasts are saying about this projector and more at avforums.com. So if you're familiar with JVC projectors, what's the first thing that you notice about the NZ500? Well, it has to be the size. JVC has shrunk the chassis by a massive 35% compared to the outgoing lamp-based MP5, and this makes it much easier to fit within more compact and smaller cinema rooms. And don't let that size fool you. This is a 4K native 0.69-inch D-ILA device. The beating heart is a BLU-Escent Laser Light source, giving you 2,000 of claimed lumens and a lifespan of 20,000 hours. Now, this is not a light box for occasional viewing in a well-lit living room. This is a reference projector that provides stunning images in a dedicated light-controlled room. And for all you constant height screen purists out there, it also retains a fully motorised lens system for zoom, focus and shift, complete with aspect ratio memories. In a world where manufacturers are cutting costs, JVC gets a big thumbs up for keeping all of these vital features at the £6,499 price point. It offers professional level functionality for home users. And the genius move is that they've flipped the airflow. Now cold air comes in the front and hot air goes out of the back. And of course, with that, placement also gets a lot easier and heat dissipation gets quieter. One slight disappointment is that there is no motorised lens cover to the front of the projector, but around the back we do have the connections, which consist of two HDMI ports that offer 32 gigabit per second bandwidth and HDCP 2.2, but there is no 120Hz compatibility and also no HDMI CEC support. There's also a LAN port for network connection and a service USB input for use with firmware updates, and JVC do update the projectors on a regular basis. The remote control is a now familiar small grey design found on the recent models, with a backlight for use in a dark room, which is a good thing with a projector. Okay, let's talk picture quality. I've been measuring, calibrating and reviewing TVs and projectors for the last 2 decades, and I'm trained and certified by the ISF, THX and PVA industry calibration bodies, so you can trust these numbers. Plus, if you want to deep dive, you can read the full review at avforums.com. Our testing rig consists of a Meridio 7 generator, Calman Ultimate software, a Klein K10A meter which is profiled to a Jetty 1511 high-res spectro. These are high-quality measuring and calibration devices that cost many thousands and are also very, very accurate. For SDR content out of the box, filmmaker mode is accurate to the standards and it allows content to be viewed as it was intended to be seen. The resulting SDR image is bright, colours look natural with lifelike skin tones, and motion is also fluid with correct pull down. It's a gorgeous film-like experience. The contrast and the black levels are the JVC secret sauce. I measured the native on-off contrast at a staggering 35,632 to 1, and then if you switch on the dynamic contrast on the low setting, you're hitting almost 300,000 to 1. In a proper light controlled room, the shadow detail retrieval is frankly incredible. It supports HDR10, HLG, Hybrid Log Gamma and HDR10+, but the real magic here is the JVC Gen 2 Frame Adapt HDR tone mapping. This proprietary algorithm is analysing the content scene by scene or even frame by frame to perfectly match the dynamic range of the content to this projector's capabilities. I've thrown everything at it, from tricky mix cuts in Oblivion to the 4000 nit scenes in Pan, and it absolutely nails the balance between deep blacks and bright specular highlights. Projectors will never be able to play back HDR content in the same way that a direct view TV can, but in a dark room with the Frame Adapt Gen 2 algorithm, you're given a superb cinematic HDR experience. Is it perfect? Well, no, nothing is these days. You don't get 3D support like you did in the past, and there's also no Dolby Vision. And it has to be used in a blacked out room with dark coloured walls to get the very best out of it. But for £6,499, the combination of native 4K, stunning image accuracy and black levels, a motorised lens and that Gen 2 Frame Adapt HDR tone mapping makes it a best in class product. When looking at its closest rivals, you also get an idea of just what JVC does right. The Sony XW51ES, the Bravia Projector 7, is very close on picture quality, but the JVC just wins on those black levels, and the Sony also has fully manual lens shift. So if you use a 2.35 to 1 screen, that becomes a problem. Given they're roughly the same kind of price, the JVC will suit more use cases and it gives a better image quality. The Epson EHQB 1000B is a great budget option at £4,800, and it has a motorised lens and lens cover, but it's not a native 4K projector, and black levels, well, they just can't compete with the Sony or JVC D-ILA technology. But the Epson does suit a room with ambient light, and its images and contrast hold up in such surroundings, which the JVC and Sony really struggle with. So the bottom line is this: if you have a dedicated cinema room with a proper light control and you want the very best cinematic projected image under £7,000, then you really need to go out and buy the JVC DLA-NZ500. If you found this review helpful, then please do like and subscribe to the AVForums channel for more of these expert reviews coming your way very soon. And don't just watch us, come and join us. Click the link below in the description to dive into the massive community at avforums.com. We've got tens of thousands of members discussing everything from this JVC to your next sound system to a gaming console and more. So head over to avforums.com now and join the conversation. That's it for this time. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.